Hi, Twin Flames. I want to talk about regulating the nervous system and why it's so important for Twin Flames to do this. So many divine feminines have been through a fair amount of trauma or trials in their lives. A lot of divine feminines have had tough childhoods. They may have had difficult parents. They could have come out of abusive or narcissistic relationships, or they may just generally have had a bit of a tough time in their lives. Now, because of this, a lot of divine feminines have trouble regulating their nervous systems, because after you've experienced a fair amount of trauma or upheaval, you automatically kind of go into fight or flight response. And a lot of divine feminines have been in fight or flight response for so long that they just don't know what it feels like to feel safe again. So a part of this journey is healing from past trauma. A part of this journey is re-regulating our nervous systems so we can get out of that fight or flight mode and start to feel safe and steady again. So to do this, we often need a lot of solitude. You may find on your journey that you kind of go into hermit mode, or you may just decide to spend a lot of time by yourself or only with certain people. And that's because this journey will require you to spend a lot of time getting to re-know yourself as well as healing. And the best way to heal and to discover yourself is to spend a lot of time alone. Another thing we kind of do to heal our nervous system is to work on our self-worth and our self-love. So you may want to get a mentor or a coach or have some kind of healer who can help you kind of work through the traumas of your past so that you can start to release anything that's happened to you in the past and start to live in the now moment and start to re-regulate your nervous system. Okay, so another way is to do a lot of crying. I locked myself away for a really long time on my journey. I think I cried every day for many years, and I was not really a crier. So part of my healing, part of my recovery, and part of my journey was spending a lot of time by myself, releasing a lot of stored trauma and emotions. And the twin does kind of come in to trigger us. The twin might do things that trigger you and help you open your heart to release a lot of that pain and trauma that you've been carrying. I also read a ton of self-help books. I read a lot of, books about loving myself, about taking my power back, not caring what other people thought of me. I just read a lot of books that helped me grow in strength and helped me take the power back from others and put it back with me. All right, so you also on your journey, if you are someone who's been through a divorce or been through a traumatic relationship or even just had a really tough time on this journey, you probably are going to find that your nervous system is used to being in chaos. You're going to realize that your nervous system doesn't feel familiar when there's no drama and when there's no chaos. And the goal of this journey is to get to the place where you actually thrive from, peace and quiet and no drama. But for a while, for Divine Feminine, that may feel very unfamiliar because we have had so much upheaval in our lives, so much challenges, and so many things that we've had to overcome. So a good way to help regulate your nervous system is to ask yourself, what makes me feel safe? Where makes me feel safe? And who makes me feel safe? So if there's a particular place that makes you feel safe, it might be your home, it might be your garden, it might be your best friend's house, then that's where you should be spending more of your time. If going out to pubs or noisy concerts or things like that don't make you feel safe and they make you feel anxious, then they are the places that you need to avoid. So you need to start listening to your body. You need to start listening to your intuition and figuring out where you feel you're calmest and where you feel you're safest. So, like for me, spending time in nature, spending time doing my divine purpose, all of those things bring me a lot of peace and joy, and they help my nervous system just feel calm. So anything that throws your nervous system back out of alignment and back into that fight or flight response, they are the things you want to think about letting go of. And unfortunately, that might be people, that might be places you used to like going, anything that just doesn't feel good to your soul anymore. They are the things that you probably need to release. And your intuition will nudge you. Your body will constrict when you are around situations that don't feel so good. Your body will constrict when you are around people that don't make you feel good. You will find that your energy will get depleted when you are not around people who make your energy feel at its best. So it's up to you to choose your environment carefully. It's up to you to choose the people you spend time with carefully so that you can start to get your nervous system into a more stable and content space. And the reason that, again, is important is because to come into union, to come into alignment, you need to feel very balanced, very calm, almost like in the present moment, in a very meditative state. So anything that's throwing your nervous system into chaos really does need to be let go of. All right? And the signs that you have a dysregulated nervous system are things like perfectionism. So perhaps you're an overachiever. That's because you're always kind of like in an anxious state. Other things might be that you constantly need to stay busy. You might be an overworker. This was something I used to do. I used to always have a huge to-do list, and I was constantly busy, busy, busy. And a part of that was because I didn't feel safe to be still, and I didn't feel safe to slow down. So signs that you are not regulated is this perfectionism wound and this constant having to be busy all of the time. Other signs that you have a dysregulated nervous system can be things like you may have poor boundaries. So you may not really have a clear sense of what a healthy boundary is, and this may be something that you have to relearn. Other things, you could be a massive people pleaser. Again, this is due to not having a regulated nervous system. And you may be kind of like over loving. Perhaps you kill people with kindness. That can be a sign as well. So basically anything that is not at balance, not in balance, is a sign of a dysregulated nervous system. And you do want to regulate your nervous system because that's how we let love back in. If we are not regulated, we will find it very hard to love our twin correctly. We will find it very hard to love ourselves correctly. And we will find it very hard to let this very beautiful and strong love of the twin flame in. So in order to let love back in, to let your twin flame love you, you really do need to start to feel peaceful and calm so that you are not in this tumultuous kind of energy. All right? And things that you can do to regulate it again are, focusing on things that reduce stress. So focusing on places or jobs or people that put you in your best energy. For example, I have a twin brother. Whenever I spend time with my twin brother, that's like my happy place. He makes me feel calm. So I like being in his energy. So choose people carefully, choose places carefully, because all of those good choices can help you reduce your stress. Other ways to regulate your nervous system, grounding in nature. I used to walk bare feet on the grass, lie on my back looking at the clouds. Things like doing deep breathing exercises. You might want to try some sound healing or meditation or yoga. Basically anything that helps you be in the present moment is going to start teaching your nervous system that it can finally feel safe. All right, so be around people that uplift you, or stay in solitude for a while until the universe brings in people who do help you align your energy. Other things like stretching, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, all of those things just help with taking care of yourself. And if you have been through a lot of trauma or challenges, you may have been neglecting yourself for a really long time. You may have thought that that's normal, but it's quite likely that you have been putting everybody else before yourself. You've been putting everybody else's needs before yours. So it's going to take a while to get used to putting yourself first again and to taking care of your needs. All right. And it can take a while to feel calm again. So you might need a number of months or even years of doing these kind of practices, of putting yourself in these safe spaces so that you can start to really feel calm again. So it's kind of like we need like a prolonged amount of time in safety before our nervous system truly believes it. All right. So if you're coming out of a marriage, if you're recovering from a tough childhood, this is your cue to slow down, to spend a lot of time in peaceful environments, do your healing work, do your inner work, and try to re-regulate your nervous system. So part of the twin flame journey is to show you that you have been out of balance in many areas. Part of the journey shows us that we have been putting others before ourselves, that we have kind of lost ourselves in so many different ways. So now it's your time to do your inner work, to do your healing, and so that you can start to balance your masculine energy and start to feel safe and protected again. And of course, on this journey, it's not up to anybody else to provide that for us. It's up to us to make choices that align to that. So it's up to us to pick people, places, and things that put us in that stable and calm energy. All right. And it can take a while to rewire yourself. Often when you've been in fight or flight for a really prolonged period of time, your body tries to stay ahead of pain. Your body tries to predict downfalls so that you can be prepared for disappointment or pain, because that's kind of the experience that you've had in your past. But we want to start watching ourselves here. We want to start making sure that we don't do that. We want to try to start expecting good things and pleasant things, and stop inviting chaos and drama into our lives. All right. And sometimes it isn't our doing. Sometimes we just happen to be in environments that have put us through those challenging situations. But it is up to us, now that we are awakening and now that we've met our twins, to really get conscious and to really intentionally choose things that make our nervous system feel safe. And when you have gone through quite a long period of time of feeling secure and steady and stable, that is when you're going to feel strong enough and ready enough for this beautiful twin flame love. Thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful day and God bless.